Oh my God. Iceman is out. The Iceman is out. The Iceman is out. Oh my gosh.
Yo, Pop Pulse fam. Welcome back to PopPulsereacts, the home of raw hip-hop energy and deep dive breakdowns. Before we get into this crazy rollout, smash that like button, subscribe, and share this video so more Drake and hip-hop fans can find it. Today we're breaking down the Drake Iceman album rollout, from the wild live streams in the Iceman truck driving through Toronto, to the re-upload of episode 3 cut down that dropped right after the UMG mediation news, to Drake's new Complex interview where he calls the game Calm Seas and says he's been dying for a challenge. We've got fans calling him a genius, others saying he's trolling for clicks, and industry heads comparing this to Kanye's Good Friday rollouts. In this reaction mix, you'll see 6 different reactors unpack the Iceman live streams, the lawsuits, the label drama, and whether this rollout is truly innovative or just attention-seeking. Let's lock in and see if Drake is really changing the game or just freezing time.
First up, the reactors are asking a simple question with a lot of emotion behind it. Why does Drake never sit still? Is the Iceman rollout a creative vision or just one more way to stay in the spotlight?
The Iceman rollout. And I think it's kind of interesting that this is popping up today because something else Iceman related popped up just a couple of hours ago, and I noticed it and I thought it was the album. It's not.
So Drake's Iceman is on the way, right? We don't have a real timetable on when the album is going to hit, but there were 3 Iceman live streams that he started doing earlier this year.
All that being stated, we're going to get into Drake, who has a new interview out with Complex talking about the Iceman album, all right? This is an album that, for the most part, has been pushed back, been riddled with mediocre music, haphazard live stream episodes, even the fans being left wondering what the fuck he's talking about. Kaisa not being confused. Only What's the Dirt and the DJ That Don't Spin and Aiden Ross are really still rolling with him, you know, the strong way, been the Don. But they receive financial incentives in dealing with Drake. So that's to be expected.
Let's talk about it. So earlier today, this popped up on YouTube and I seen it and I said Iceman episode 3 and I was like, oh wait, man, is he dropping another episode? Are they getting ready to do something, you know, this week? And it always seems to happen right around the time some other news happens. So yesterday, the news of the mediation between Drake's team and UMG, that information came out yesterday. And then today, here we go with another episode of Iceman, which is what I thought they were trying to do.
But there were 3 Iceman live streams that he started doing earlier this year, which to us served as an indicator that he is in album rollout mode. Plus, he mentioned it in concerts and there's been social media posts, etc., right? So the first episode of the live stream, we saw him riding a truck through Toronto, and then we saw him in Manchester when he was out on tour, running from a Pinocchio-type character. Then we saw him in Milan, and there was an underground club with Yeet and stuff like that. So y'all remember, or at least y'all remember having the conversation when we talked about it on this channel. Throughout those live streams, he used it as a vehicle to debut new songs like What Did I Miss? Which One with Central C. You know, there was symbolism in the imagery. There was theories on what the images and the storylines that we were seeing, what it meant. But no one had much context, right? A lot of theories, a lot of like clues, but nobody had much like concrete context, right? Led to a lot of speculation.
He does this as a distraction. He put these things out because he knows that people are paying attention to everything. So he figured, well, I might as well put this out so this way people can pay attention to this. Look, I'm gonna re-release Iceman episode 3. It's the same episode as before. It's the same thing. I don't know, maybe he made a mistake and maybe he meant to say Iceman episode 4 and then maybe but they re-released the same episode. I don't know. It to me, who knows?
Comments? had me so excited for a second. Your fans are looking for your music, bro. Drake is waiting for GTA 6 before the album drop. Album called Iceman, but all songs are heat. Drake is trolling us. He knows how much the world is waiting for this project. 9 likes and I'll quit making music. What? Drake troll button. Okay. And that was kind of my thought process behind this, is that is he trolling? But why would you troll your fans? Right? Why would you troll your fans and then give them a cut down version of Iceman episode 3? Which was actually one of the episodes that did some of the craziest stuff like this. Like, y'all remember this? And then the case ends up, you know what I'm saying, getting thrown out. And then no, this isn't the What Did I Miss? This isn't the What Did I Miss video, is it? No, he didn't drop What Did I Miss in this one. But I think this was one of the ones that people criticized the most because of all of the imagery and kind of like maybe like the fake deepness of it. But again, my thing with this is that it came out the day after the mediation announcement was made, and I think it got the fans excited just for a second because it's just a cut down version of Iceman episode 3, which is weird. Okay, ain't nobody, you think people really want to go back and watch the condensed version? They already seen it, they sat through the stream. So now, I want to go back and see the condensed version. It reads as, if people like to talk about looking for views and searching for views and clicks, that's what this reads as. He knows people are gonna go to it, flock to it because they think there's gonna be something in it, and maybe there is. We haven't watched it, or we're not gonna watch it.
To really understand the Iceman rollout, you have to see the storm around it. Leaked records, underperforming songs, lawsuits, appeals, mediation with UMG. It's not just a cute live stream concept. This is Drake trying to launch an album in the middle of a very public label and legal mess.
This whole Iceman era that's been coming forth this year, ever since Some Sexy Songs for You came out, it's been a very strange saga. Music has been leaking. Some records have come out and haven't performed well. The people weren't receiving it well. The stuff that people thought was gonna do well fell off. It's just been a very rocky situation.
But Jay Roebuck has a different opinion. While some reactors think Drake is reaching or trying too hard with the Iceman blueprint, Jay pushes back. He believes Drake does have a clear rollout strategy and that fans are underrating how intentional the live stream episodes actually are.
To look at this first quote, Drake talks about the opportunity for a clean slate. So coming into this, part of his career, he just dropped the R&B album with Party Next Door, Some Sexy Songs for You. But after, the back and forth with Kendrick, he hasn't dropped a project that is just a rap album, which I think is what we're going to be getting with Iceman. So he says it's a new experience where he gets to message and he also gets to deliver music. So you can do two things at the same time. And he said he wanted to do something different rather than just do a single, then release a video. Single, then a video. Wait to see what hits and then do a video. That's the formula that everyone has done. That's the traditional route. So what he wanted to do here was push the boundaries and do something out of the ordinary. And that is the live streams with Iceman, which I've said all along has been one of the most original rollouts of all time. We have not seen anything quite like this in the history of rap music.
From there, Jay Nolan continued, taking the conversation even deeper.
Of course, we know all year he was going back and forth with UMG with the whole defamation lawsuit for Not Like Us, which was dismissed. He's tried to file an appeal. That's going through the process. They're supposedly going into a mediation to see if they could get this thing worked out before the appeals courts have to go into the the full process throughout the next year or what have you. But I'm pretty sure Drake's not going to settle for any type of mediation because his whole point was to try to back UMG into a corner. And I'm sure UMG is going to say fuck him, you know what I'm saying? So that stalemate is going to continue. UMG said that they were ready to get back to the, back to the music. So we'll just have to see what's going on. They're still at odds, which is weird.
Now, we shift from fan theories to Drake's own words. In a rare complex email interview, Drake says he's bored of the classic single, video, album cover routine. He calls hip-hop calm seas, says he's dying to act, and claims the Iceman live streams are his perfect mix of risk and reward. But is it really that risky?
But it says Drake is bored by traditional album rollouts. Nearly 2 decades into his career, he's done it all. Long, elaborate rollouts with multiple singles and videos. Magazine cover promo, release night, sit-downs with Zane Lowe, surprise drops. By now, it's all starting to feel a little stale to him.
So maybe we start to pivot, maybe we start to roll out and look into other avenues where we can start making some more money, right? This is what he says. The game is extremely calm seas right now. Nobody is rocking any boat on the water. And so once we discussed the live stream rollout, it just sounded like the perfect mix of risk and reward for me. Now, my question would be, where is the risk? I'm sure if I sat down and thought about it, I could come up with, okay, there's risk here. He's been seen with streamers. He didn't do any solo streams at the time, but he did stream with other creators. He has a massive audience and he's teasing music. He's not sitting there playing a video game, right? He's not sitting there playing the game. He's Iceman is a rollout for an album, so people are gonna watch to see what's happening with the album. So currently, I don't see the risk, okay? I definitely see reward. It's a new way to do things. People probably have not rolled out albums via streaming before. Streaming is such I won't say new. It is kind of new, but it's such a new way to incorporate your fan base and your following. So I see a lot of reward there, okay?
Here's his quote. I was asked by a creative partner what I love and hate about rolling out an album, Drake tells Complex over email. I expressed that I love the opportunity for a clean slate of thoughts and excitement and messaging when it comes to the music. What I hate is the redundancy of this formulaic approach that's ingrained in our brains from early label days. Single video, album cover posts, etc. So this is Eric now writing. So when it came time for the rollout of his 9th studio album, Iceman, he wanted to try something new, a series of theatrical live streams on YouTube where he could debut new singles and build up a storyline around the project before it drops. Another Drake quote. I have been dying to act, and I have been dying for a challenge, he says. The game is extremely calm seas right now. Nobody is rocking any boat on the water. And so once we discussed the live stream rollout, it just seemed like the perfect mix of risk and reward for me. And that's a Drake quote. I mean, you could debate if the game is calm seas right now. Again, we talked about Billboard. You know how I feel about that. So it definitely not outside of the success that Kendrick had, mostly towards the beginning and the middle of the year. There may not be quote unquote successes, but he doesn't even say that. He doesn't mention that. So I don't want to put those thoughts into what he's saying, but what he's just saying is he needed a challenge and nobody's kind of rocking the boat anymore, and that's his opinion. And I mean, he isn't all the way wrong. What I will say is I've seen interesting things. I really like this Legend Has It rollout that Mass Appeal is doing. I really like what the Clips did, even though the Clips took a more traditional route, and I don't think that this quote has anything to do with the Clips either. I'm not putting that on there. I'm trying to be real clear about what I'm saying. But where I think he's right is there's room to do new things. I think that's the headline of if I'm taking away what he's trying to say, there's room to do new things. There's room to kind of shake things up and come with just like a different approach. And that's what he's trying to do. That is the headline of what I'm trying to say. And in that regard, I think he's right. I think, you know, if every artist kind of thinks like that, like, yo, how can I approach this a little bit differently? You know, even the rollouts get more creative. What worked for the clips, worked for the clips. What worked for Kendrick, works for Kendrick. What works for Nas and the Mass Appeal crew has worked for them. And I thought that has been fun to watch. But Drake is Drake and needs something that works for him, that stands out, that you know, feels big and well thought out and never done before. So
breaks down his Iceman live streams. Quote, I've been dying for a challenge. In a rare interview, Drake and Dream Crew's Matt Babel tell Complex how and why they're putting together a series of Iceman live streams. So here they get into it. Drake is bored by traditional album rollouts, but somehow he's not bored with his musical stylings. Anyway, we'll continue. Nearly 2 decades into his career, he's done it all. Long, elaborate rollouts with multiple singles and videos, magazine cover promo, release night sit-downs with Zane Lowe, surprise drops. By now, it's all starting to feel a little stale to him, as does his musical concepts. We have a quote. I was asked by a creative partner what I love and hate about rolling out an album, Drake tells Complex over email. I expressed that I love the opportunity for a clean slate of thoughts and excitement and messaging when it comes to the music. What I hate is the redundancy of this formulaic approach that's ingrained in our brains from early label days. Single, video, album cover, post, etc. Okay? Now, I hope this isn't the so-called anticipated interview that the DJ that don't spin was alluding to, that he was going to sit down with somebody unexpected, because who the fuck wants to get these email exchanges? But I guess this will have to do for those that care. So when it came time for the rollout of his 9th studio album, Iceman, which I still think is a terrible title, he wanted to try something new, a series of theatrical live streams on YouTube where he could debut new singles and build up a storyline around the project before it drops. We've got another quote. He says, I've been dying to act and have been dying for a challenge. So when you see him in that Canadian show that recently came out a couple weeks ago, him saying that he's been dying to act is no surprise, because we just saw him talking about The Guy or whatever that was, you know? So he says, the game is extremely calm seas right now. Nobody is rocking any boat on the water. And so once we discussed the live stream rollout, it just sounded like the perfect mix of risk and reward for me. So he says even he is kind of bored with what's going on in hip hop, which I find to be very strange, because he's largely contributed to a lot of the boredom in hip hop as far as the sound, him being at the helm of what's going on in the game, a lot of people being attached to him for their rollouts and vice versa. So I find that to be very interesting.
And the next quote here, Drake says he's been dying to act and dying for a challenge. And I think that's exactly what you get when you have these live streams. Number one, they're a bit unpredictable. You can try to control as many circumstances as you want, but anything can happen. You have to be prepared. And that's improvisation. And that goes into the acting piece. You also have to remember Drake has made a number of appearances, one of them with the show The Office Movers, which is a Canadian sitcom. You should check out the clips. We all know Drake was in Degrassi and you know, a bunch of other things. He's a great actor. So he got the chance to flex those skills, not only in these appearances he's making, but also in the live streams. He interacts with people. He has to show emotion because he doesn't do a lot of talking. So this was a chance for him to do something creative. He also talks about the genre as a whole. No one is rocking the boat. He says it's smooth waters, right? So now as he goes out, he wants to rock things and shake things up a bit. And what better way to do that than with a new project, and a project that you roll out in a unique way that your other peers and contemporaries are not doing.
Drake need to stop capping, bro. All of y'all out here, and I'm speaking to Drake fans, and I'm gonna dig into y'all in a little bit. Y'all need to stop capping, bro. Y'all really do. Like when y'all, all of y'all out here saying that when Drake says stuff like this and he fuels y'all, when he says stuff like, oh, nobody's trying nothing different, what are y'all talking about? What are you talking about? Like, what are y'all talking about? That's what really makes me mad when he does stuff like this. It's like, bro, you are not trying nothing different. You've been doing the same thing for the last 15 years. You literally have the same flows in the last 5 albums, bro. You can't even tell the difference between you putting certain songs on one album and another album. That's basically what it is. You just oversaturate it. You do so much music that people just tired of it. They're not even tired of you. They just don't like that sound anymore. And you out here talking about nobody trying nothing different. What are you talking about? You haven't been doing nothing different. Like, come on, bro.
Pop Pulse fam, this whole Drake Iceman rollout feels like a movie. Live stream trucks in Toronto, Pinocchios chasing them through Europe, lawsuits, mediation, complex interviews, angry fans in the comments, and reactors arguing about whether he's a genius or just trolling for attention. One thing's for sure, between Big Kish, HSSB Crew, J. Roebuck, KJ Nolan, Rob Markman, and Torture Chambers, the culture is watching every frame of this Iceman story. Now, it's on Drake to prove that the album hits just as hard as the rollout. If you enjoyed this documentary-style reaction mix, smash that like button, drop a comment with what you think about the Iceman rollout, and share this video with another Drake or hip-hop fan. Hit subscribe and turn on notifications so you don't miss the next Pop Post Reacts breakdown, where the culture, the controversy, and the music all collide in real time.